I can raise both arms again. Yeah, shoulders healing. Thank you for you guys who sent some good vibes. And I just want to quickly announce before we get into the weekly Q&A that some awesome updates in the members area for those of you who are in there. And if you're not, you should get in there. We've got stuff on getting your mindset straight, which is equally important as all the tools and techniques. We've got lead magnets you can copy and paste, openers and hand raisers, working Facebook ads, copy and paste collection of the best, example webinars, example sales calls, scripts you can use, a matrix for setting expectations, organic posts you can use to get clients, referral strategies so you can use them both for yourself in your agency and your clients. Working on something this isn't live yet to create a wow experience for clients, and getting control of assets, which is a whole different thing if you're into the beyond agency. So if you need any of those things, reach out. And even if you just need one or two, these are tough times. I'm happy to share. It's um, people need this shit. So anyway, let's get into the Q&A. Dave, is anyone having success in the martial arts niche or even physical fitness? Yes, Dave, and I'm going to tell you that's a bad question to be asking, because the question you should be asking is what are the successful people doing differently in those spaces? Because yes, one of them is actually in this group, Clinton, who, as well as owning an agency, they have 30 martial art locations across New York City. Since March, they've had to do it mostly virtual. Um, so, it's been a little bit different than they've been doing it before. But yes, people are having success in those niches, and you don't want to just um, assume that maybe somebody's having it. But yes, and it usually comes down to the offer and adapting to the marketplace. So next we got Paul. Paul's got a 3-point question. What do you use to keep your agency organized? Any tools, apps, tricks that can help me? Yes, Paul, before you add in tools and stuff, what happens is most people have bloated processes in their agency. So I'll give you an example. One of the people in our program um, does really great SEO, but he had usually when you sign up an SEO client, there's problems with their website, so they end up getting into web design and fixing all these things, and there were just like a lot of moving pieces. And what he realized after doing this for a lot of local businesses is that really it was the My Business listing that was driving the traffic and sales. And so he simplified his new offer, and we're still just like testing it right now, but putting it out there. So he's just doing something with the map or the My Business listing. And when you do that, like it's easier to stay organized and automate your process. So before you do that, like you want to like eliminate as much as you humanly can. Like think about what's really generating the results, because people care far more about the results than everything else. Next question from Paul. Any advice for bringing on a project manager? I've worked directly with freelancers, but I think I need to have someone help me take care of the miscellaneous workload I get throughout the day and help me manage my accounts. Yeah, I've been there too, Paul. The biggest thing is like when you're trying to hire somebody like a project manager or like a manager or a right hand person or an assistant or whatever you want to call it. Um, the biggest thing is that you guys are on the same page, because what works for one person will work for another. So the best thing to do is take on a small task or two and see if you guys are on the same page. And then if it works well on a first date, like keep going. Um, does anyone, okay, sorry, third question from Paul. I'm thinking of bringing on either a salesperson or a virtual assistant to help cold call businesses. Does anyone have experience with this? Any tips you can give? Yeah, Paul, make your offer easy to say yes to, and we have some training in the group here. The biggest thing is if you open with like a capacity question, you'll get conversations going like, hey, do you have capacity for whatever you need? Where most people go wrong is they just pitch their service rather than the need for the service. So I'll give you an example. Dean Jackson, famous marketer, used to do a lot with restaurants, and they had a birthday campaign that they could run in direct mail for restaurants. Now, if you say, hey, do you want to buy my birthday campaign? Nobody's interested. But if you say to them, hey, can you guys handle any more birthday parties? And they say, yeah, well, you go, well, we just happen to have a birthday campaign that will do that, right? So rather than try and do it in one thing, it's a lot stronger to open with the capacity question. I hope I'm saying your name right, Danuja. I'm in the chiropractic niche and I've been struggling to land my first client. No responses to my cold emails. Any tips that would be really useful? Chances are you're asking for too much, too big in the email. And so the first thing I would figure out, and Stephen Yen is in the group, he would be the right person to ask, is like, what is the highest level, most valuable thing that a chiropractor like can get. So it might be for it, and I know in his case, Stephen Yen actually like he does marketing, but he also actually is a chiropractor, so he'd be a good person to pick his brain on that. He likes doing fibromyalgia work, right? So if you're just reaching out and saying, "Do you need more leads?" More like everybody else is doing, you're gonna have a really hard time. But let's just say that their highest value person, and you'd have to check with chiropractors to be really sure, but you can just read their messages even if you don't know any. You can like you go in a chiropractic group and just read the comments, but the you want to find out what the highest value work that they can get is, and then lead with the capacity question. Do you have any capacity for fibromyalgia people, for example? And then they say, yeah. You say, well, we have a campaign that's working in it. So more than likely, it's like if you're not getting any response to cold email is tricky to begin with. It's more than likely you just send in the same generic shit as everybody else. Chase, what's the quickest way to rank number one on Google? That is an easy one, Chase. I'll tell you, 80 to 90% of this, in my experience, is upfront work. It is finding the keywords that don't have all the competition. Because when you do that, you can put yourself in front of the easy wins. There's there's a lot of tricks you can do to rank, but I'll say the best one that you can do is just picking winnable battles. So I experienced this the hard way. Like my second SEO project, I had a friend who was buying mortgage leads, was a mortgage broker, and mortgage keywords are like really, really competitive online. And he was paying for these leads, and I thought I would create like a mortgage search engine, like a Google for mortgages. And so I spent all this work creating a site, and then I decided to use SEO traffic. Now, mortgage stuff is really competitive. It took me like 14, 15 months to get like top three for some of those keywords. And then I found out that nobody wanted it when I got there. So it's way better just to go with little, long tail keywords that don't have all the competition but have opportunity. So most of the homework to rank quickly in Google is spending that 2 to 3 hours up front, finding out what's easy to rank for. Ruxana, what's a good hosting provider for beginners? I need something with good speed. It's to host client websites, also for my own blog. Ruxana, I don't know if this is the best company on earth. I used DreamHost. I've used most of them. I've used Bluehost and HostGator over the years. A lot of them like started out really well, but they've kind of gone downhill. Like HostGator, when I first started, you could get an answer to any question in like under 30 seconds. It was amazing support. And now it's slower and there's more people on it. It takes longer to get answers and their service sucks a little more. So I don't know. I'm happy with DreamHost. I don't know if that's the perfect answer, but they're working for me. Ria, what are the top money generating activities you do regularly? And go. There's really only one for most people, I would say, Ria. For I'd say for 90% of the people in this group who are in stage one or stage two of agency growth, meaning they're a solo or they have some freelancers and a small team, but they're still mostly doing a lot of the work. That is making offers to people and solving problems and innovating on those. Really, those two things, making offers to people and innovating so you can make better offers to people. Those are really the only two money generating activities. People will tell you a lot of other things, but those other things are not really money generating activities. Blake, I feel like I'm running in circles to find a solid prospecting method. Any tips, advice would be awesome. Well, Blake, the problem what you're having is that the idea is that the method is what's going to make it succeed. This is something we don't really think about. But if you're going to succeed at this, not just like getting people to raise their hand and to buy from you, but long term, you actually have to solve real problems for the businesses you want to work with. It can't just be like all buy my lead generation shit because I want you to give me money. There has to be like something that you bring to the table that's of real value. So if you actually like spend a little bit of time thinking about that, and I've been thinking about doing a training on this, but the most likely place to start is just to think about like how could I save somebody some time in my space. And what you'd find is if you innovate even just a little bit on saving them some time, you'll bring real valuable to the table when you open with a message. Where most people are just sending messages is like basically like I can generate some leads for you. come hire me. And they get that message 100 times a day in every niche. So you got to find a reason to stand out. And the easiest way to stand out is to have something that's actually more valuable than everybody else. And if you're going to do it, focus on the people who have more time or more money than time and need someone to help make their life easier. And then you'll find, by the way, that all the prospecting methods work. So chances are you're just not showing up with enough value and you got a generic message. And, that's your offer, by the way. Fixing that is your offer, I mean. Brian, anyone work with IP patent attorneys, pros and cons of working in that niche? I'll tell you, Brian, one of the good things about working with attorneys is there's money in the niche. Like, you don't have to bring them a lot of people to make a difference. The biggest con I think you'll find is the personalities can be really difficult and really negative and really just like make it not fun. So you got to be really careful about who you choose as clients because a lot of lawyers are depressed and snarky and can pursue you legally and things like that. I mean, so you want to just choose them very carefully. But there's definitely if you like doing that thing, it's a good niche. Mark, is Facebook on another rampage banning ad accounts or is it just me? They are banning ad accounts. I'm seeing that message like a lot lately, a lot. And so I'll give you a short-term answer. We got a script for you. Just send me a message. I will happily share with you. Long-term answer, figure out how to get your own audience and control it and don't be dependent on Facebook. We've got other ways of doing that. Like Facebook ads really work and they're really nice, but sometimes people get locked into this box that says, I got to do Facebook ads, and nothing is further from the truth. I actually built my agency, my first 100 clients, without any paid ads at all. So anybody who tells you it has to be done with paid ads, it doesn't. I've also built entirely agencies just from Facebook ads, so I'm not saying they don't work. But like the idea that it's the only way to do it is just not true. Last one, we got Omar. Anyone else experiencing a spike, very high cost of Facebook ads right now and more rejection than usual? Short answer, yes. Same answer as Mark before you, Omar, which is, um, you know, appeal what you can, but in the long term, generate your own traffic that you control to your own list and get off of Facebook and um, use diversified platforms. We're using YouTube ads right now as well. Actually, I'd say we're spending more on YouTube ads than Facebook, so um, it works. And we're doing a lot with direct mail. Like the beautiful part about direct mail is, I don't get your direct mail was not approved by anybody. I just send it out, right? Like, you can still be liable for what you say, but it's not the same level of annoyance of trying to comply with the platform. So anyways, that's all I got for you guys this week. I mentioned all the bonuses we got in the members area. And don't forget to sign up for these replays on YouTube. But if you guys are looking for anything that's on that list that would make your life easier, let's talk. I'm happy to share, give you one just as a bonus. But we got all kinds of lead magnets. We got openers and hand raisers. We got tons of winning Facebook ads. We got webinars that work. We got example sales calls. You want to get good at your sales calls, just listen to somebody else do them right. We got scripts so that you go into the calls knowing what to do, setting expectations for clients, organic posts for getting them, referral strategies, wowing your clients, and getting control of the assets. Some pretty amazing shit. I'm pretty stoked about it. So that's all I got for you guys. It's a shorter than normal Q&A this week. It's Monday. I feel a little bummy. So shed a little tear for that notion. Anyways, I will see you guys later. And thank you to all you guys who stuck with me to the end of this.